all the days to pick to fly home?
Yeah, I always pick great. You know.
You're
Well,
really good at this. Like it's
yeah, but it kind of worked out for me because we were online. I was able to get online on the plane. I actually got a lot. Like if I hadn't mentioned anything, I don't know if anyone would have even noticed I was gone. Like I got a lot done. But
you tweeted something out or whatever to the effect of you you were so happy you were using an arm device as you were flying through the air or whatever. Now,
yeah, well, I should explain that partially.
yeah.
Sorry, just real quick because the we're often able to fly business class from
Hmm.
Mexico to here, and it's this was actually it was a newer plane, and it was like a first class cabin, so it was like a little nicer for some reason. But the power was out in the first half of the plane, so I was kind of worried like we weren't going to have Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi was fine. But this thing, I charged my phone, I charged my wife's phone, I had music going the whole time. It was no problem. When I landed, but when we got there, I think I had 55% battery life still. It was awesome. So it
Just
made a
trying to
big
find your
difference.
exact tweet. What did you say?
I said there is nothing more exhilarating than flying with a Snapdragon X based something.
Yes, there's nothing more exhilarating than flying between countries with a Snapdragon X based Copilot plus PC and not worrying about the battery life for even a second. What I
Yeah.
thought you were referring to, because I
Oh,
forgot that you were on a plane,
right.
was the Microsoft Flight Sim
Oh,
2024, which
yes.
came out which came out the gate.
Yep.
Um, they
Probably not
really
compatible with the the laptop. I guess you could stream it or something, but
well the real problem is that they really created waiting in a terminal simulator because the
yeah.
game they really screwed up. I don't know if
Good
you've
thing.
looked,
Good thing
but
there's a lot to do on the ground in that game, so that worked out great.
well, even if you can get to the ground, like people go look at the Steam reviews. I mean,
Yeah.
they are getting destroyed because here's what happens. So you download the game, but the
Hmm.
game files don't. I don't believe, and I could be slightly wrong on this, but they don't download from Steam. So typically, like if you buy whatever a game, like it's coming from Steam and whatever else.
Oh, they
So
did
here's
it
what
different.
happens. So you download the game, the game, and that brings up a loading screen where it has to download a whole bunch more files. Those files, this is where it gets real
Right.
fun, are on Azure and or wherever they store them. I'm assuming it's Azure. I don't know why they put them anywhere else.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Whatever else, they completely just shit their pants, for lack of a better term. And so nobody can get into the game. But here's how it gets worse. So
Yeah.
in Steam, you have a limited amount of time you can get a refund, and it's
Oh,
based on how long you're playing the game. Because the files are coming from Azure and you have to have the game open,
it seems
that
like you're in the
clock is
game.
accruing while those files are downloading, which
Yeah, but
are
you know what?
overloaded
Okay.
the servers. It means like nobody is able to get into this game unless you were like one of the first people to click it,
All
and
right.
everybody's just
Okay. But if you if you wanted to get this game from Steam for whatever reason, yeah, okay, you didn't get your good day. When not now, Microsoft has provided us an ad for why you buy from Steam and not from Xbox. And you'll be okay tomorrow or the next day, or whatever it is. But
assuming that it gets resolved. But whatever, it's just one of those.
yeah,
You guys are $1 trillion company, and you couldn't figure this out. Like
dude,
you've
come on.
never
We've been
done this.
dealing with this problem for 30 years. It's like you
Yeah.
go to a conference, you're like, why does the Wi-Fi suck here? And it's always like this. I mean, uh, unfortunately, they launched this thing on day one of Ignite when you have to think like Azure was told to load balance for all the stuff we're selling people on here that we make a lot of money on, and the other half of the company is like, yeah, but what about Flight Sim, which by the way streams some huge
It's
amount of
like
content.
5 gigs an hour or something like that.
Yeah, like one of the ways I'm curious to see this, by the way, but one of the ways they keep this thing so realistic, I guess, is they're streaming a bunch of the content when you play the game. Like I don't think you can download it, those parts of it. So yeah, like even if you got in, it was probably kind of crappy,
Hmm.
but oh well. Well, at least it's a good offline experience.
Just thinking about all those people playing in submarines they're on.
I know, we all do. We all.
Yeah. And of all people who need an airplane game, it's the people in the submarines, right? They need.
I just some release of the monotony.
Mhm.
That'd be a good bumper sticker. Remember the guys in the submarines?
Anyways, Microsoft almost released something I was going to buy, but then they didn't. that Windows 365 link device.
Yeah,
Just put it. Just put
you
an arm.
just
Just put
you
an arm
just
chip.
want to, yeah.
Just
You
put
want
just
the
put an arm chip in. Charge us $6.99. Put an arm chip in there.
right.
$6.99. Give us 16 gigs of RAM and some storage.
Yep. Uh,
This
this is also something we've been dealing with for a long time, which is they'll never do what you want. They'll do what they want, and what they want is something completely different from what you
Yeah,
want.
because they
So,
want to sell 365 or Windows 365 cloud
yep,
subscriptions or whatever they are for that you need for that thing.
which have got to be pretty hefty per month, right? For
Yeah.
decent bandwidth.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, this is for like
price.
banks and people not like us. It's not designed for us. But like
I
it's like
know,
you
but
got the form factor. You got the form factor.
everyone looks at that thing and they're like, "Yep, that's what I want." What's inside of it? Oh, nothing. Well, I mean, a little bit of RAM
Well,
and
there's some
probably
unnamed
like a
Intel chip, which is
Celeron processor or something.
it's
Yeah,
probably
you
the
just
thing they
have
had the
to keep the
Surface
lights
Go,
on,
the
right?
Intel Gold series, and we're like, what the
Yeah,
what?
it's definitely something like that. Like, why wouldn't it be?
The
It's
gold
just
chips,
nothing.
by the way, throughout are actually the bin chips that just fell on the floor, and they're like, yeah,
I've said
some
this
of the
before, but you're
some of the cores still
you're
work.
too cynical for how young you are. This is
But
something we
yeah,
need to grow into.
I mean, it has HDMI, it has DisplayPort, it does two 4K. Like, put an 8CX in there,
Dude,
$6.99.
I again, common sense is not going to help you. It's not. That's not how this works.
It's like so close.
Yeah. Sorry.
I blame you for being on a plane.
I yeah. Well, I was supposed to be in Chicago, originally, and then Microsoft was so late getting back to everybody. Most people, I actually was surprised. I thought Mary Jo was not going. I guess she
Mm-hmm.
did go, but we were talking about this. I was like, no, I'm not booking last minute because these idiots can't get their act together. It's just not right. I'll spend another week in Mexico. But I could have also gone to New York because there was a Qualcomm thing I kind of want to check in on now
Mm.
because I guess they talked a little bit finally about the next gen
Yeah, a little bit about
Snapdragon
the
X.
core of it
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
eventually come to whatever next gen.
It's got to be on some. I don't know what the schedule is now because normally they would have announced this at their event in October,
That's
but they
true.
didn't. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're still talking late next year, but it's it's different, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Which is really bad of them. We've
Yeah,
talked about this before, but it's like your 8CX stuff just hit. This is like the first holiday Christmas where people could go buy an ARM-based laptop or whatever. And the
yeah.
first opportunity you have to do this with a decent chip, you're already filling the market channels with stuff about what's coming next year. And it's like,
It may be why they waited. It may be they did a very bare reveal, is my understanding from yesterday, and then yeah, maybe that's part of it. October is not the right time to
no.
announce something when you're selling something now. It's why Google switched around their
Mhm.
Android release schedule, right? I mean,
Which they just put out release preview
yeah. So
16. That was,
maybe, well, when Microsoft released 24H2 originally in
mhm.
June, that was the right time frame for that, right?
Yeah.
That should be the annual cycle, like for so you can hit back to school and then the holiday and all that stuff. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe Snapdragon or Qualcomm should do that for the PC chips too. I don't know.
I do enjoy just how much Google just doesn't care about Android. Like release, like making a deal about it. Like, here you go. Like, it's
Yeah, I always So Android releases for a while now have been kind of uneventful in a way. It's not really fair. It's a mature platform, et cetera, et cetera. But whatever. It's the way it is. But then they do these quarterly releases. They do pixel drops, which are usually pretty fantastic. So maybe that's like it's not so horrible. I mean, but Apple usually gets more of a big bang, and then Microsoft is like a car crash where you can't identify the victim anymore, and it's like no one knows what's going on. It's so there's different styles. It's fine. It's all good, man. Oh, I miss Windows 8.
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we might learn today, speaking of Google, whether or
Yeah.
not, well, it's not, it's the recommendation that Google would have to divest somehow
Yep.
Chrome.
Yeah, or something, right? I mean, they looked at or it's not official yet, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they looked at making them get rid of Android. They looked at making them get rid of their ad business. I guess those two are a little more radical. A lot of people this is like everything else in our world. It's very controversial. Some people are like, yep, this is what's going to happen. Other people are like, I don't get this. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. You have to look at the vector for the abuse and make sure that you get rid of it. Like one of the things they will be getting rid of course, is their special arrangements with Apple and Mozilla and whomever else. And, people are like, yeah, but what about Mozilla? They're going to go out of business. It's like, if your business is
They
propped up
weren't
by the
in
mob,
business.
yeah, I mean, like, no offense, but like, we're not, we're not here to dole out charities.
You know
Like,
the little fish that fly like in a whale's mouth or a shark's mouth that like
yes,
eat the food out, and they
yeah,
only exist because the whale exists? Like that's not a.
yeah. It's even worse than that, though, because it was like when Microsoft invested in Apple to keep them in business so they could be like, look, we have a competitor. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, that
I
came back
was
to
gonna say
slap
how'd
them in
that
the
work
face.
out?
But at the time, it looked like a charity.
Yep.
And that's what Google's doing with Mozilla. They could just be like, look, there's an open, different something browser, whatever. Yeah, is there? I don't know. They're on last. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel bad for them. I wish those guys could make it work, but I don't know. Maybe if Google has to get rid of Chrome, they could finally pick up Chromium and make a business out of it. I don't know.
I don't know. If Google has to sell this thing, Microsoft has the chance to do the funniest thing possible.
Which is,
Buy it. Can you imagine?
oh, I can't.
Can you imagine
No,
if
I can imagine. No, God, no.
you know how funny that would be if they're
I
like,
can't.
my, how the tables have turned.
No, but you can't. They can't let
I
Microsoft
know,
buy this.
but
Like, they're
who has the money to be able to buy Chrome?
actually, what is Chrome even worth if it's not attached to the Google ad engine? It's
I
not
don't know, but
really. I don't think it's worth much, dude. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But
I mean, it's worth tens of billions for sure.
you think so?
Go have the most to wake up and say I'm going to go buy the most popular browser on the planet. I think so.
So I don't know. I mean, you strip away the Google stuff, which is what Microsoft did essentially. I mean, I guess they built off of Chrome. Yeah, Chromium has
Yeah, and then
even,
what they
but
shove in its place.
that's what I mean. So you're not going to have that. What's left? That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah,
you can build a browser that differentiates on features: Opera, Vivaldi, Arc, whatever, Firefox. You know, are those like good businesses? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what's left. Like once you strip away the stuff that Google uses to maintain their dominance or whatever, like
you know, it'd be hilarious is if I could buy Chrome. Let's say I could go buy
you
Chrome
might be able
tomorrow.
to. That's my point. Maybe we should go in,
I'll go
instead of
halvesies.
buying like a cabin that we timeshare, we'll just get like
Yeah.
Chrome and
Here's what I would do. This is brilliant.
mm-hmm.
I would build the world's best ad blocker and charge a monthly fee for it.
Well, like go in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, like $2 a month to use Chrome with and a built-in
Yeah.
ad blocker, like
Yeah.
a real ad blocker, like uBlock Origin that they just got rid of because it was too good.
Right.
What if they
We're
bought
bringing
it?
back Manifest too.
What if uBlock Origin somehow had the pennies to put this together and be like, yep, here we are.
I mean, it'd be fascinating to see. I don't know.
You know who's going to end up with it, though? It's going to be like Oracle or Salesforce or something dumb like that.
Oh God, kill me! I just no. God.
Citrix
I mean,
from
I
left
know,
field.
yes.
IBM. IBM, I
Well,
could see buying it and
IBM
renaming it Watson.
IBM used to have a web browser, didn't they? Like Navigator or something. Or yeah, I think it was something stupid like that.
Who was the Netscape guy? Mark Andreessen buys it or something?
Andreessen, yeah. Yeah, if he can get back from his right wing nut job commune that he lives in now. I don't know. The companies that could do right, well, won't do right by it. Apple, Microsoft, whatever. They're not going to let companies like that buy these
Should get
things.
Stardock to buy it. That'd be fun.
Stardock. Yeah, get some like yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, something like that.
You guys
company.
like tabs? Dude.
Boy, I don't know. The world. I don't know. We'll see. I am curious about this. I don't have an opinion, by the way, on whether this is a good remedy or not. I'm fascinated by any attempt by regulators to you look at some business and say,
Yeah.
okay, this is how you have to tear it down to stop the abuse. Google is a
Because like
complicated.
what? Okay, so you're right. I mean, I tend to agree with you. So Chrome goes its own way. The first thing they're going to do is be like, okay, who's buying the default ad or default search position? So they're going to recreate Mozilla like instantly
Yep.
because that's their first line of revenue, which will
By the
obviously
way,
be Google paying for it.
other than I, other than all the talk from the past 20 years, Mozilla might be the logical outcome here,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
but I don't.
I know, I know. It's like when InBev bought Budweiser,
Mm-hmm.
Anheuser, whatever. My dream for this company was that the CEO was going to get up on a stage and be like, "Yeah, we just completed the acquisition at whatever X billion dollars. We're not selling any more of this beer. It's crap. You're welcome."
just
That kind
just
of thing. So like
the
with
old Yeller
Mozilla, like,
strategy.
yeah, does Mozilla do that? It's like if you're using Chrome right now, you're going to auto upgrade to Firefox tomorrow. You're welcome. Good night, everybody. I don't know. It's a fun outcome.